So I thought I was done with this video, and before I got to the editing part, I really didn't go into just what it means that we have this sextile going on with Pluto during this new moon, with this conjunction with Venus and Pisces and Neptune, and we just have so much going on. And Pluto can, definitely have a spin on things. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is the things that might be coming about maybe in a almost faded way, and it might not be the most comfortable because we have the influence of Pluto, which I think it's interesting. Not a whole lot of people are going into detail what that means with Pluto. So today we're going to break down Pluto because I want to talk about just some personal things that I've noticed in my life with Pluto when he is kind of activated, because most of the time I feel like Pluto is kind of sleepy. He's in the background. Half the world wanted to forget about him back when they, took away his planet rights. Trust me, he's very much still a planet, and he very much still has a say when it comes to astrology and what's going on down here. So just to clear things up, Pluto is still the supreme ruler of the heavens, and he basically keeps the solar system in check. Astrologically speaking, he's like the final boss. Well, you think Saturn was hard? Okay, you think Uranus is just like throwing everything but the kitchen sink at you? Pluto is still the final boss, and he has the final say. He's really, really mysterious. There's tons of power in Pluto, tons of power, but like half the time it's like his power is only activated when he's in aspect to other planets. So like right now when we have this sextile going on, or when he moves from one sign to another, which he takes forever in certain signs. So that's only once every blue moon basically. But either way, he has the final say either way. Like, he doesn't really do the whole petty business, like, Mercury and some of the inner planets, that I feel like they're like on a lower level of just like the kind of things that they'll throw at you. With Pluto, it's like whatever you're going to go through with Pluto is going to affect you basically for the rest of your life. You're not going to forget it. It's not going to be done and over with and, oh, I can't believe that happened. That was like a month ago. Like, no, trust me, you don't forget when, we have some transits with Pluto. He kind of, it feels, a lot of people will say it's karmic because he does rule karma, but it's a different type of karma. Like, so Saturn is more of our personal karma. So let's say when we have a lot of our aspects with Saturn, or even like your Saturn return, if you have been doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you've been putting in the work, then usually you will be, rewarded. If you've been taking shortcuts, or if you've, kind of been on side quests when this is your main quest, but you're over here doing a side quest, then Saturn, will kind of slap you back into shape. But Pluto, on the other hand, Pluto is more of ancestral karma, generational karma, and so sometimes it won't even feel like it's our karma. Well, I think that's why, to me in my life, most of the time, like, I knew Pluto ruled karma, but sometimes I would have these relationships and there would be a heavy Plutonian theme, and it's just like, I don't think I asked for this karma. And now I understand more about Pluto, and it's not really about our personal karma. Some of this is like generational or ancestral, and so it really has nothing to do with you at all. But moving on, whatever is ushered in with Pluto will stay with you for a very long time. Like I said, this isn't just a crazy transit that will happen and then a few months from now you forget. Like, it's surprising or it's exciting in the moment, and then, oh yeah, that was crazy, you can't believe that. Like, it will shake things up. I think it's funny just how secretive Pluto is and mysterious. Like, when astrologers are like trying to channel or predict Pluto, it is legit difficult. Like, just anticipating the energy and where it's going to go, it's really, really, really difficult. Like with, let's say, Venus retrograde, or even maybe a Mars and Saturn square, usually you can pinpoint down what is going to happen in what area. Is this going to be positive? Is it going to feel negative? Will this be a long-term thing? You can kind of, have it kind of zoomed in on the underlying theme. With Pluto, it can go either way. It really can go either way. So that's why I wanted to come back and make this video, because I forget we're having a very, very powerful aspect. And because Pluto is so tiny, it's so small, everyone likes to forget about it. Some people like to overlook it. And I mean, the changes it can bring in can really shake things up. So we're talking about it. So some Plutonian themes. So basically these are just things all related to Pluto, things that he rules, would be family lineage, so ancestors, genetics, the dead, eternity, like death in itself, karma, but like I said, this is more of ancestral level of karma, not necessarily your personal karma, afterworld, people of authority or hold great power, because Pluto is a very, very powerful planet. Radical transformation. I've added radical to transformation instead of just saying transformation, because I feel like sometimes when we say transformation, it's very easy for us to forget what has to happen, what has to break down in order to transform. Something has to go, something is going to leave you, something is going to be cut off. For a new beginning to start, something had to have ended. This isn't just, you know, going in with your black hair and going to get some, you know, some little highlights in your hair. This is like going in and coming out with like platinum blonde hair all in one day. Like, it is a radical transformation. It isn't light. Like, there's really nothing light about Pluto at all. Also, there's the destruction and regeneration. You know, destruction and regeneration, you should always say those in the same breath. Whatever is torn apart, something else is going to grow there. I don't know what it is, but something else is going to grow there every time. Also, Pluto speaks with past lives. This goes back, even your personal past lives, so just not necessarily the past lives of your ancestors, but your past lives. I think the interesting thing of Pluto is that it is all or nothing. It's take no enemies type of energy. So if it's activated, some things that I've noticed, some of these have actually happened to me, you may bond or meet with someone that you had a relationship with in the past, like a past life. You may start a new goal related to something that you did in a past life. So if you find yourself all of a sudden attracted to something that you have absolutely no understanding with in this lifetime, you really haven't even, you've never tried it, you haven't really heard about it, but you feel this connection to it. Sometimes that could have been something that you were mixed up in a different life, or something that you were studying, or that you did, that you were into. So sometimes Pluto, when there is a transit going on, or when it's moving to a new sign, it can kind of reawaken those types of things. Also, you may visit a country or a place that you were in a past life. This is an amazing feeling. At the time, I did not know it, but a country that I was living in was actually, if you look at astrocartography, it was actually on my Chiron and Pluto lines. And so even though it was 100% the opposite of anything within the US where I had lived my entire life, I almost felt at home, even though there was nothing, absolutely nothing to remind me of home. And now I understand it more to be that, yeah, probably in a past life, this was a place, this was a country that I was in. Or I could have lived there for my whole life, or maybe some of it. It's the same thing with people. Sometimes you will just meet people and you will just feel like you have known them forever. And it's such a good feeling, because it's like your heart is just, I don't know, so happy, so calm, so at home with them. So some of these karmic meetings with people, I like to call it a karmic meeting. I guess if we define it, it really doesn't have to do anything with your karma, but it just feels like you've been there before. So sometimes for me, the word karma means things, actions that you've taken that will bring energy back to you, whatever. It does not have to be negative. There's a lot of positive karma. I know most people like to use it in a negative terminology, but it can be positive too. There's a lot of times it's positive, but with karmic connections, sometimes it is karmic on that it is something from the past that you have no recollection of, but something about your spirit or your heart will just feel at home there. Also, going back to karmic connections and karmic relationships, sometimes this can be a very intense relationship. Maybe not necessarily relationship, maybe just meeting someone for the first time, and you just feel, I don't know, just intense feelings for them, either if it's intense dislike or intense attraction. But usually with karmic connections, they are not meant to last. That's the sad thing. Like most things from, I think, our past lives, there really isn't like a whole lot of room for that, because again, you're on a different path. So it's like, even if you were to work on some past life energy, some issues, some blockages, you're meant to work on it and then close it out. So I've noticed with karmic meetings, I call it meetings because it doesn't have to be a relationship, just with people in general. With these, it's usually never for long term. And it sucks because meeting those people or that person can, it'll shake you to your core. Like, you will just know it, you will feel it, and you're going to have intense emotions, but sadly it is nothing that's going to last. So with this being said, I think if you are to have something karmic happen, okay, especially when it is happening when we're having a transit or an aspect right now, which we have a sextile with Pluto. So at least it is a positive aspect, and everything else is very positive. The planets are talking very nicely to each other for this new moon. It most likely is going to be a positive transformation, but like with Pluto, it's going to be extreme transformation. And so I think another thing I wanted to reiterate with the other video that I made is that you should really be manifesting and asking for like those dream goals. This isn't the time to play it safe. Just go all out, but just know, since we do have this Plutonian energy going on, this sextile with Pluto, that the way it might come about might feel, if you have any experience with eclipses, sometimes eclipses can just shake up everything in your life, throw everything out, and it's like, here, this is yours now. But at the same time, you're shell shocked because you just lost a whole lot. So with Pluto, it might not be gradual. If we did not have this Plutonian aspect, I think we would still have great chances of manifesting things, but it would come in a way that when we're ready, we would just ease into it. If you've ever manifested something during eclipse season, which is, I love eclipse season, but I'm also terrified of eclipse season because eclipse season brings on turning points. And like, if you've ever studied history, turning points are where shit kind of hits the fan. It could be for the better or it could be for the worst. So with this Pluto energy, the changes that are going to come about might just happen out of nowhere, and so it might not be in alignment with whatever you're personally comfortable with, but whatever you're asking for, you're still going to get it. It's just, it might be a little bit shocking when it happens. It's like it's going to be in a way that you could have never anticipated, because we have Pluto, who is very mysterious, very secretive, and yeah, he just works in mysterious ways. So that's all I wanted to say about Pluto. If you've ever worked with the planet Pluto, I've actually used a Pluto death oil, and wow, I manifested some insane things. I had some karmic things, some karmic connections come about. I think I was also able to remember some past life stuff. Though, like I said, when it comes to past life stuff, I know it's really interesting, and there might be certain times of the year when it's best to do that type of work. Obviously, you guys know October into November, you will feel it very intensely, and that's the perfect time to work with those types of things, or when you have a transit happening, or like we're having right now. But like I said, most of the stuff from your past life, it's meant to, I don't know, it's meant to be kind of shut off. It's even with our north node is what we're supposed to be focusing on in this lifetime, but it is opposite of our south node, which is where we thrived in our past life. Not to say that you can never do those things again, it's just that should not be your main focus. And so it's the same thing I feel with like past life stuff, or karmic stuff. You're not meant to like sit with it, you're kind of meant to acknowledge that it's there and move on.